Hey, what's up? Otaku Mike here. Let's talk about Knightfight issue number 1. Why? Because it's a DC K.O. tie-in, that's why. Warning, there will be spoilers. The story actually starts out with Batman patrolling the streets of Gotham. He hears rumblings that Professor Pig and the Circus of Strange are actually rounding up Gotham City civilians to perform nefarious acts on them, so he goes to investigate. But alas, Batman is too slow because who happens to get there before him but his sons, Nightwing, Red Hood, Robin, and other Robin. They get there to basically wrap everything up and capture Professor Pig. And Batman starts to wonder, does Gotham really need a Batman? They actually end up jumping over to the events of DC K.O, specifically the first round of eliminations where everybody tried to get into the tournament, basically. And we see Batman fall and get stabbed by the Joker. But Batman always has a plan because he gets turned to stone at this point, and we find out that Batman secretly was wearing this set of apocalyptic armor that had a boom tube built into it, which would teleport him back to Gotham City if he was inactive for a certain amount of time. But it's not the Gotham City that he knows and loves. Batman is actually surveying the surroundings of this Gotham City he has been dropped upon. He actually gets attacked by a group of Robins. They're like, oh my god, it's the Batman who fell. It's the OG Batman. We gotta call this in. And they actually start to attack him. And Batman notices that, hey, I know this style. I know the way they move, their attacks, their patterns and stuff like that. I know who actually trained these people. And we actually find out that they're not really trying to attack him to hurt him. They're attacking him to try to actually lead him to a specific place. They lead him to the Batman of this world, who happens to be Dick Grayson. Dick actually gets the jump on Bruce and tells him, I told you to stay away. If you ever came back to this city, you would have a war. And Bruce is like, what are you talking about? He is very much taken off guard at this point. He's like, what are you talking about? What happened to the tournament? How long have I been out? Who actually won? Did we defeat Darkseid? And Dick is like, what are you talking about? Tournament? What's going on? Like, did the Lazarus Pit mess you up that much? And we find out that this world's Bruce Wayne actually started to break down. His body started to break down and he could not keep up. So he basically threw himself in the Lazarus Pit and had a midlife crisis of sorts. And he couldn't, hack it. And he kind of went insane at this point. So Dick, believing that Bruce is his world's Batman, he actually tells Bruce, let me show you exactly what I did while you were gone. I created Bat Tower, which just looks like the Titan Tower, but with a big, huge bat symbol on top of it. And we find out that Dick does something that Bruce never really, truly did, which was trust people. And he started Robin Incorporated with the Teen Titans, where he trains up Robins in different cities. So there's always some kind of support for Batman in these other cities. Dick actually tells Bruce that your mission continues, your legacy still lives on through me. And Bruce says, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted you to be your own person and, and live your own life. And Dick basically tells him flat out, that is bullshit. You did everything you could to stay and be Batman, because without Batman, you are nothing. Their conversation actually escalates into this big knockout, drag out fight between the both of them. And Dick actually gets the one-up on Bruce and beats Bruce. And we actually find out, Bruce starts talking while they're fighting. And he's like, so if you're Batman, where's Damian? Where's Tim? Where's Jason? Where are they? And Dick says, don't you remember? You actually killed them. All right, so let's take a look at the internal artwork in this issue. I just got to say, this new suit that Batman's got going on is really freaking cool. He does not have the batleth Klingon sword in this particular issue, but man, it is amazing for sure. I love the Jack Kirby references in that. Here's your creative team right there for this particular issue. And I just got to say, this artwork, really, really hits it out of the park. I thought it was the current artist for the ongoing Batman series, but I was actually wrong about this, but like the way they have everything laid out is very well done. It flows very well. I love all the colors and the line work and just showing all the different details they have going on, like with this new Gotham and stuff. Like it is well done artwork wise, and just seeing all the different Robins and stuff. And like this one scene is actually really well done, which is probably the highlight of this book. Is, let me get to it right here, where we actually see Bruce versus Dick in this issue, just seeing all the little details and how they make the art flow and feel very like visceral when they're fighting and stuff. Like, is a very well put together fight. Like, I mean, it's awesome. You can't go wrong with Batman fighting Batman. What exactly did I think of Knightfight issue number 1? Well, this was actually surprisingly a very good read. Now, I don't know overall if this is going to be like a mandatory read within the DC K.O crossover. But if you're only reading one DC K.O crossover book, check this one out because it does some pretty cool stuff. Like, I was not expecting this to be like an Elseworld book in a sense, and I found it really fascinating that this first issue very much is dealing with the fact that Bruce can really no longer, I don't want to say be Batman, but it seems to be very much struggling with the fact that his body is starting to get older, and he's really seems to be starting to rely more on like his family as a whole, and seeing Bruce through his eyes go into this other universe where Bruce is no longer needed at this point. Like, Dick has basically taken the mantle of Batman and seemingly made it better at this point. And to see Bruce's reaction, like, like he didn't want that for Dick. He wanted something else for Dick to have a better life, to not take this burden on. Is a really interesting like character study in a sense. Like, Batman very much takes everything upon himself, and yes, he has this little support system, but in reality, does he really have that support system? But yeah, like, I am so interested to see where this story is going to go. Like, this story has it hooked in me now. Like, it is so emotionally charged with the conversations between Bruce and Dick in this, which Dick's not necessarily wrong, I feel like, in this situation. Like, he is not wrong. Hashtag Dick's right. Dick's right. and to see, like, I'm really curious because at the end they say, like, Jason's not alive, Tim's not alive, Damian's not alive, and these issues moving forward, are we going to get other universes where these characters are Batman? Like, I really want to know, and I really want to know, like, what's going to happen to Bruce at the end of this. Like, I have so many questions and not enough answers at this point. But I would love to hear your thoughts and your theories about what exactly is going to happen in the next couple issues of Knightfight. I'd love to hear your comments down below. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, stay safe, go read some comic books.